So guys, I'm here with my dad, and today we got something very special. But first, I want to talk about a particular type of music. So
This is my son Jax, and he's just recently gotten into playing guitar. And as it is in my life and a lot of other musicians out there in the world, everybody has this moment. Everybody has this moment where something musically has impacted them that makes them decide right then and there that that's what they want to do with their life. They want to play music. They want to share art with the world. And that's what music is, and every type of music. So whether it be jazz, whether it be blues, whether it be hard rock, heavy metal, contemporary Christian, whatever it be, something touches somebody deeply and inspires them to want to actually pick up an instrument. And recently, this has happened with my son Jax. And we can attribute that and we can give credit for that to one of the best guitar players in the world, Nuno Betancourt. Extreme came out with their 6th album, Rise. And, as I was growing up as a kid, I know I had that moment where I decided I wanted to play music because of Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle. It was the song, it was the video, it was just everything that they were putting out there that just captivated me so much that made me say, hey, I want to do that with my life. I want to be a guitar player. And that's what's happened to Jax. The song Rise came out, Nuno Betancourt, just completely blew everybody's minds with what his capabilities are and how proficient he is at the instrument that he plays, which are many, but especially known for the guitar. And that's one of the things that, we like to put out here on this channel to all of the youth of the world is, music is art and it's expression and it's emotion. And what better way to express yourself than through music by what moves you. And with that being said, Jackson has started picking up the guitar, and we kind of wanted to show you a little bit about the setup that we were playing on, and we have something very special to show you afterwards. So let me turn the camera around and show you the amp and the pedal configuration and stuff that we are currently using to create the hard rock sounds that we kind of love so much.
But first, we like to shout out to the people that support this channel, that have that loves music and art and wants to share that with other people. So in order for us to share our music with other people, we need y'all's help and support, and we thank y'all very much for helping us out here, because we really want to spread the passion of music and art to you guys.
It's well said, buddy. Well said. So without further ado, let us show you our amp that we're currently using and all of our pedals. All right, so what we have here is we have a Fender Deluxe Tweed combo. And, it's good for country, blues style music. It's got a little bit of a bite to it. Our particular musical stylings are more towards the hard rock genre. So in order for us to achieve that kind of sound through this amplifier, as you'll see down below, we have to put all these pedals to it to make it sound like that. So I kind of want to show you what this sounds like, how we are using everything, and then let you hear kind of the sounds underneath the guitar, the white noise, if you will, of what the amp produces, because not every amp is like that. All right, so I'm going to demo this amp for you and these pedals, and I just kind of want to show you what the amp is all about and what the pedals do. So first of all, every tubed amp is going to have a standby switch on there. So you want to go ahead and turn your amp on, but leave your standby on so those tubes can warm up. You don't want to continuously turn the amp on and off with the standby on, because you take a big chance of blowing your tubes. So without further ado, I'm going to turn that on. And right now, I'm on the clean channel on the amp. So my guitar is turned completely up, and you can hear kind of how it sounds. It's kind of got like a twangy kind of country bluesiest kind of sound. And obviously Fenders are known for their reverb, so I got some reverb on here. Let me show you what it kind of sounds like with you know, the amp kind of on a more dirtier sound. So that's kind of got a little bite to it. Not much, but that's not what this amp is. This amp was not meant for a hard rock kind of sound. So what we have had to do is we have had to incorporate all of this monstrosity here just to get it to where we can make that sound. So what we have is this MRX 10 band EQ. So when we turn that EQ on, that just kind of, you know, makes the sound kind of fine-tune the frequencies of the low ends, the mids, the highs. You know, we can fine-tune all that stuff with that equalizer. But just with the equalizer on, let's see what it sounds like. Can you hear the difference? How much more presence and aggressiveness the sound is with that EQ. Tell that it's got a little bit more bite to it. But we like the hard rock sound, so we have this wrap pedal here that we just got, and we're still kind of playing around with it. But our main pedal is this Friedman BE overdrive pedal. So when you turn that on, Jack, let them listen to what comes out of the amp before I play any note. Put that down there and let them hear that. Y'all hear that kind of white noise that's behind the amp? I'm not playing a single note, but it's making this noise, right? So in order for you to play through this amp, if you were going to play a show or whatever, and they were micing this thing, well, you're going to get all kinds of noise that's going to come out of this amp because you're having to use these pedals to get the sound that you want. So let's see what it sounds like with just the overdrive on it. So that right there, you see, you know, that pedal is going to give you that hard rock sound, but you're going to get a lot of noise with it. So we also have this carbon copy, which if you put a little bit of delay behind your sound, it kind of thickens it up a little bit, kind of gives it a little bit more sustain. You hear the delay afterwards. Okay, that kind of gives it a little bit more thickness and a little bit more sustain. So if you're a fan of Eddie Van Halen like we are, you obviously got to put a chorus on your rig. So we can put that chorus on there and you can kind of see what that does. So with all that being said, I particularly am not a big fan of trying to create a hard rock sound based off of what this amp's capabilities are. So with Jackson starting out playing rock and roll music, you know, I want to introduce him to what different amps, different guitars, different pickups, you know, different pedals, you know, like these, this is a wah pedal, you know, like. life is, you know, for us trying to create this hard rock sound. Now, there is a much easier way to do this if you have the money. And that's all it takes, folks, just a little bit more money.
Guys, I am so excited to show you my EVH 100 watts 5150 half stack. Look at that! That is how you get all of the pedals over there transferred to one amp that doesn't even have all the pedals. All it takes is a little bit more money, that's all I'm saying.
All right, are you guys ready for me to demo this thing out? It's really cool. All right, so first of all, let's show them the configuration of the knobs here. All right, so what you have here is you have 2 overdrive gain channels, okay? This also comes with a selector switch that you can select your foot, you know, to switch between the channels. So obviously they have a clean channel as well. So you have one more or less for your rhythm sounds, and then this one to crank it up when you want to go solo to really get that gain up there. This is what I really like about the amp, is it has a noise gate on it. So do you remember all that white noise that was in that other amp? As before we even struck a note, it made all this hissing sound. This right here prevents all of that. That is awesome. You know, you got your low, your mids, your highs. This is your EQ on the amp. So where we were using our pedal to get our sound fine-tuned and equalized, we can achieve that right here on this amp, which was the same on the other one, but you know, it's not going to produce the same kind of sound like this is going to produce. These are your volumes. This is your boost. You know, obviously you got your reverb, your resonance, and your presence. This is something else that's really cool because the power level. So you can be at full power or you can be at a quarter power. Now everybody knows that Eddie Van Halen used a transformer. I can't remember what the name of it is, but he could dial in the voltage that was going to his amp, and he could create what was called the Brown sound, the Eddie Van Halen Brown sound. And he used that by manipulating the power level going to his amp. This kind of does that too, where you could be on full power or you can be on quarter power, depending on where you're playing and how loud they will accept you to play. You know, you can switch between those. And of course here you got your standby, which you want to be using. You turn your amp on, let your tubes warm up in there. You can show them how they're all lit up inside there. Those things got to warm up, folks. And you want to use that standby so that you don't blow them. So right now, I'm going to turn that standby off. I'm going to turn it on quarter power. And I'm going to let you guys hear what this thing sounds like. Pretty cool. So you can obviously hear that this amp was made to create the hard rock sound. And you know, trying to achieve a certain type of sound with an amp that's not really capable of doing it, what you end up doing is you end up muddying up the sound. This keeps the sound pretty sharp. And this was on the quarter power, so you can hear the difference between the quarter power and the half power, but it does not lose the sharpness. Listen to this. You hear the difference? Now we're at full power, but I also want you to listen, because what you don't hear is a whole bunch of humming that's coming from the amp. So that has to do with that noise gate. That's keeping that noise down. If you still want to get the feedback and stuff, you can. Nothing. That right there is totally cool. to be able to achieve that with one singular amp. So let me let you hear what it sounds like. And I keep playing this same riff because I want you to be able to hear the difference in what we're playing. But let me show you what it is on this full power. There you have it. But let me show you something else that's really cool. So this obviously has a clean channel, right? So you're going to be able to play all of your clean kind of, you know, not so aggressive melodies with the clean channel. But let me show you something that I really, really, really like about this amp. Watch this. So right now we're on full power. I got my guitar is turned fully up, right? And it makes this sound. As I turn the guitar down, listen.
Sounds like blues.
It cleans it up. But then when I want to, let's say I'm playing something that's just chord, you know, just chords. But then I want to kick it up. With the guitar tone, will change the tone of the amp. When you turn the guitar up or down, it's actually changing the tone that the amp has. So you can achieve clean tones and distorted tones simply by just turning your guitar up and down. Folks, this to me, in my opinion, for the money, this is well worth it. This was originally, I want to say, $1,900 for the head and the 410 speaker cabinet. Guitar Center's where I bought it from, and they actually gave me a deal. This was the floor model. I got 20% off, which they, you know, that's one thing I love about Guitar Center is, you know, you can go in there if there's a piece of equipment slightly used. I mean, they're going to work with you. They want you to walk out of there with what you want to play with. But we wanted to share this with y'all, and we wanted to show you the differences between amps and kind of what certain amps were created to be, and why, depending on what genre of music you're trying to play, is it important for you to be selective of the particular type of amp that you want, and the versatility of that amp to produce the sounds that you want to make. Because not all the time are you going to want to be, you know, ripping and shredding people's heads off. Sometimes you're just going to want to be mellow and just play some really cool, groovy songs. You can achieve all of that with this amp right here.
Thank you, Dad, for investing in this and believing in me, because I could play a little bit of Smoke and Water, a little bit of Inner Sandman, a little bit of Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do by Van Halen, and I am becoming like Nuno Bettencourt in the future, because I want to be like him, because he's my guitar hero, and he was inspired by Van Halen. I'm inspired by him. So thank you, Dad, for believing in me, and to all the fans that support us, and to all the people that want to experience music the way it should be experienced. Because you know, some people don't know how to play guitar, some people don't know how to play drums, some people don't know how to play instruments. Bye.